I need to script this week's video. I really don't feel inspired. I think I need to buy new shoes. Let me clean this desk first. I have to water my plants. I think I'll have more time tomorrow.
There seem to be more and more tools that help with task management. Trello, Gmail Task, Notion, Microsoft To Do, Workflowy, Evernote, to name just a few. Americans downloaded productivity apps 7.1 billion times last year. Data from these apps shows that people tend to write an ambitious to-do list that they fail to accomplish. They also seem to add quick tasks such as cleaning a desk, taking supplements, or showering just to have something to check off. Does this sound familiar? People seem at the end of the formula to perfect productivity without succeeding. So why, despite all these productivity tools out there, we can't get things done? In the 1920s, a psychologist named Zeigarnik conducted a series of experiments where she gave volunteers a list of tasks, then she'd interrupt them to see what they actually remembered. The psychologist made an interesting conclusion about the human mind. When a task is unfinished, people can't seem to stop thinking about it. This is very interesting because it can explain why most of us feel exhausted and stressed by all the tasks we have to accomplish. When faced with so many undone tasks like answering emails, calling a friend or a family member, going to the gym, taking care of the children, etc., it's normal to feel lost in this pile of chores and duties. You might even experience a Zeigarnik moment where your brain starts screaming at you at night because of something you didn't do. A good way to ease the Zeigarnik effect is to write down a list of everything you have to accomplish on a day, or what we call a to-do list. Getting it all out of your head will help you lose less time stressing over it, so you can go straight to action. Studies have shown that those who write to-do lists get things done more than those who don't, and they are less likely to have trouble sleeping at night because of an undone task. Productivity apps understand the power of to-do lists, so they will make it as effortless as possible to input tasks. However, this can be a double-edged sword because we too often don't really plan for our task, and since it feels good, we keep on adding more and more. The founder of the app Todoist calls it snowballing. So with a long list of unplanned tasks, you will feel overwhelmed, so you'll keep postponing stuff until you end up with hundreds of tasks that need to be done, which makes you feel even more overwhelmed and stressed. So what do you do with this painful list now? And we've all done it. We panic and we just give up. So ironically, to-do lists are supposed to help us relieve so much of the stress of having to do something, but in reality, it also removes the pressure of actually doing it. So we end up doing nothing. It's like when you talk to others about a goal you want to achieve, it can create an illusion to your brain that you have already accomplished it because you've already got the reward, which is praise from others, while in reality, you still have to put in the work. The solution to this is to think of a plan for how you will get each task done. As they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So try to add as many details as possible. When are you going to accomplish the task? Where? How long it will take? Which resources you will need, etc. That way you can remove all the friction of starting. Even when we plan for every task, sometimes the problem is that we're asking too much. We too often make unrealistic lists of tasks given the time we have. People today spend more hours at the office or studying compared to 40 years ago. Plus, you should count for the increase of social work, such as answering texts, posting on social media, or consuming content online. Our time is limited, and there is a list of endless tasks that has to be done, so we can't accomplish them all. A good way to ease the feeling of overwhelm is to be true to yourself. Define 1 or 2 important tasks to accomplish every day and commit to those exclusively. The other tasks should not be a priority, so you should not beat yourself up if they're not done. If you ask people to accomplish a certain amount of work in a week, they will probably say, "Oh no, impossible for me, cannot be done on such short notice." But if you tell them to accomplish the same amount of work in a week but 1 year from now, they will say, "Okay, I can do it." There is a great quote from the book The War of Art that describes this perfectly. The author Steven Pressfield says, "We don't tell ourselves I am never going to write my symphony. Instead we say, I'm going to write my symphony, I'm just going to start tomorrow." People might think negatively about the future of the world, but they always think positively about their own future. It's like your future self is unquestionably way better than your present self. Tim Pitchell, psychologist at Carleton University who studies procrastination, says, "We regard our future self as a stranger. someone onto whose lap we can dump tons of work. On some weird level, we don't get that it will be us doing it. To change this feeling of strangeness with our future self, psychologists recommend to remember regularly the limited nature of our time on Earth. Every time you add a task to your to-do list, you are choosing how to spend a scarce and non-renewable resource that you have, which is your time. So ultimately, every to-do list is about being mortal. No wonder we get sad and frustrated when we don't accomplish all our tasks. So next time you feel like writing a long list of tasks to do, remember how little time you have on Earth and make sure that that's the way you want to spend it. A good way to do this is to use calendar or time slot blocking, so you can see easily when you are being unrealistic with your to-do list. Make sure to adjust that along the way so you don't fall for a pile of overdues and don't feel the pressure to do more if you finish the task before the due date. Some task management philosophers think that paper is the best tool because it forces you to rewrite tasks and to see clearly how much space you filled up. It also takes more effort, so you'll think deeply about the task you want to accomplish in a given day. I personally still use paper for my to-do list. I have an equal space for my task of the day and I rewrite them every day, so it's easier for me to prioritize. However, ultimately, the most important thing is not which tool you use, but figuring out what are your significant goals and making a realistic plan to achieve them. I know it is appealing and self-fulfilling to want to add more and have big dreams, but small accomplished dreams are better than big ones that stay written on a paper or a to-do list. If you have been struggling with getting things done, my advice is to start small, very small. The goal is to restore your confidence of yourself and not feel overwhelmed. And eventually, the more you achieve, the more you can trust yourself to keep promises so you can add on more tasks. But always remember that there is only a limited amount of time you have, so focus on your priorities. That's all for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and share. It will really help me and my channel. Consider subscribing for videos every week. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Question everything, do your own research, and follow your instinct. I'll see you very soon in the next video. Bye!